Okay, hey everyone. I want to apologise for the irregular schedule that we've been on at the moment, but as you can see, we are in the middle of some house renovations, so it is affecting what I'm able to get done sometimes. Anyway, on to this week's Song of the Day. It's like many of us, I'm kind of addicted to TikTok, and as things go where the algorithm is concerned, when you start looking at something, it's going to keep handing that sort of thing up to you. For some reason, on one day there was one of these dance videos that came up and I instantly recognised the song. The dance moves were pretty spectacular too, and I suppose because of that, the algorithm kept giving me more of these dance videos, all with the same tune. And there's a ton of them out there. Doing a bit of research, I discovered that the original dance routine was created by California-based choreographer and dance teacher Molly Long. Her students are incredibly talented, and her routines are frequently amazing. No doubt this, plus the catchy tune, is why this particular routine has captured the attention of so many amateur online dancers. I mean, take a look at this.
Radio, video, boogie with a suitcase. You're living in a disco. Forget about the rat race. Let's do the milkshake and selling like a hotcake. Try some, buy some, beat by four. Talk about Pop Muzik. Talk about.
The song, if you haven't figured it out, is pop music. Well, no, I don't mean the genre. Well, actually, yes, also the genre, but no, the name. The name of the song is Pop Muzik with a Z and a K, and it was performed by M. So I thought today we'd take a little look through this alphabet soup and see what else we can find. So, if you want to be a gunslinger, don't be a rock singer. Join me for this week's classic 80s Song of the Day. Pop Muzik was written and performed by English musician Robin Scott, who went by the moniker of M. It was released on the 16th of March in 1979 and in the UK reached number 2 in their UK pop charts. Now I know what you're thinking. A handful of weeks in the charts in the middle of 1979, how does this song qualify as an 80s song? Well, in one sense, it's an early synth pop classic. It has more in common with the songs that came out in the years after it than it does with the songs from before. There were a lot of songs in the 80s that still showed their 70s heritage. This one was ahead of the curve, where songs was influenced by the 70s in the early 80s. This is the song that influenced 80s pop music. It was predicting the future. It has that quintessential 80s pop sound, and if you want to be really pedantic about it, the track was also remixed and re-released and took another foray into the charts in 1989. So that version, at least, is an 80s track. Robin Scott has had a fascinating career in the music industry, but only ever had fleeting glimpses of success, and always on the periphery. A lot of his friends were highly influential in the 70s and 80s music scene. He almost went into fashion business with Malcolm McLaren and Vivienne Westwood when they asked him to invest in their shop. Malcolm McLaren, of course, famous for bringing the world the Sex Pistols and Adam and the Ants. He was also a very good friend of David Bowie. M's first album, New York, London, Paris, Munich, had David Bowie featured on one of the tracks, but not as a vocalist, but doing hand claps. For a period, Scott was the manager of an R&B band as well as working with an all-girl group in Paris, but he was encouraged by his friends to go out on his own. One of the first songs that he ever wrote was Pop Muzik, although it had a number of incarnations. He was quoted as saying, "When I first wrote the song, I made a kind of rhythm and blues version, and then I re-recorded it again and made a funky version a la James Brown. It was the final electronic version that was released to the world and became a chart-topping single." After his initial LP, which included Pop Muzik, Scott released 3 more albums as M, however none of them were terribly successful. He then went on to record a couple of LPs with Japanese artist Ryuichi Sakamoto. Pop Muzik made it to number 1 on the Australian charts, as well as Austria, Denmark, South Africa, Sweden, and the US Billboard Hot 100. Number 2 in the UK, it was held out from the top spot by Art Garfunkel and Bright Eyes.
Bright eyes, burning like fire. Bright eyes, how can you close and fade?
And then 10 years after its initial release, somewhat remixed version of Pop Muzik was released again in 1989, where it got to number 15 in the UK charts. In 1997, U2, who are not really known for doing cover versions, covered and remixed the song as part of their Pop Mart tour. Bono added a couple of additional lyrics, but he said it's hardly the most musically accomplished thing U2 ever did. So, there you have it. Pop Muzik by M. That's your 80s song of the day. I hope you enjoy it, and you'll join me next week as I once again
Talk about pop music.
and another 80s song of the day.
Pop music. Sitting in the subway, shuffle with a shoe shine.